What's up, collective? This is Neo Ra coming with a channel message from Source for my collective. How are y'all doing today? Let us see where your energy is right now and what message Spirit has for you, the highest truth to get you on your highest timeline, being my intention with this reading, and it also being a short reading. The Three of Cups. Three feminine water energies, typically celebrating. So, emotional energy. This is a good energy to be in. Community, this being the collective, tapping into your emotions, being high. I like to see that. Positive energy. And let's get another card and see what else do we need to know about this watery energy. We have the King of Wands. Authority, action, mastery of the fire. So we have water, community, emotions, good. We have your energy being of the fire element, being grounded and balanced with the feminine. Again, this is a general reading for the collective, tapping into where you are today for whenever you are watching this reading. If it resonates, it will be confirmation and hopefully provide some insight. If it doesn't resonate, then it is not for you. The Ace of Swords with the crown. So this is the air element, and being crowned, you may have just been activated with your crown chakra being illuminated. The Three of Cups, celebrating the Fire King of Wands being. The actions you've been taking are successful and responsible, and you're speaking your truth. This is a very balanced spread so far. Let's get one more. What is the collective speaking about? Celebrating and manifesting. The fire is also manifesting. The Page of Cups. So this is emotions, and I'm getting an offer, an emotional communication coming in, potentially a relationship, someone offering you something in the form of potentially a friendship. And I'm also getting the page as being someone younger, so you may be being celebrated for actions you've taken, speaking your truth, and teaching others to be emotionally balanced, which tells me that you are a teacher, a master of, and now we have the world on the bottom, which is a closing out of a cycle. So you may be getting crowned for completing some lessons required to not only master your own emotions socially, being honored and acknowledged for your accomplishments and actions you've taken, being aligned with your highest truth, giving you spiritual downloads through your crown chakra, some of those being useful to pass on. And I'm hearing, teach someone to fish, don't just give them a fish. So again, back to the teaching others about, and the cups being water, emotions, the heart chakra illuminated. See this fish glowing yellow and red. The heart chakra, your solar plexus, the crown, the Three of Cups. Emotionally balanced, aligned with your highest truth, getting downloads from source, sitting on your throne, which means also being grounded, taking your spiritual seat with your, I'm hearing, your inheritance. So a lot of times we hear about inheritance being about coins and money, but even more valuable is your gifts, your insights about emotions. Mental clarity is a gift some people struggle with. Mental clarity, so having mental clarity is a gift. Being in a position to teach others about mastery of water so that their cup is full. I'm hearing half cup is half full, not half empty. Some of you may be drinking something right now. I'm also seeing over here the number 4. I drew 4 cards, and being able to receive, touching my crown again, being able to receive and see inside and feel those emotions. To receive, we need to let go, right? We need to cut ties, pull the anchor, clear our mind, to receive messages, to hear what spirit is trying to communicate. And I'm seeing on this card a flock of birds going through a portal. So back to the original point about sharing emotions, there may be a lot of energies coming to you, seeking knowledge about how to deal with emotions that are sometimes challenging. And the importance of mastering our own emotions, not just for our own emotional health, emotional intelligence, but for passing that on to the next generation, for also showing and being a good example and role model, right? Which requires constant awareness and taking responsibility for how we treat ourselves, how we treat our vessel, how we pour into ourselves, which goes back to receiving from spirit. which is also an internal process, which requires 10 on the timer, which requires each day taking a break and mastering ourselves. So hopefully this is something you're already doing. If not, this is a reminder. I'm being shown this card now. The next card on the keys deck, number 5. We have 5 cards out too. Release your soul. So I'm seeing the soul being a caterpillar, and releasing it is allowing the transformation to occur within your vessel. Some of you may be ignoring some of the signs for what you're being shown and told is the truth on your path, and that's not for everybody. This is something to let go of in order to receive, right? So when we want to receive new information and insights, we ask to be shown the highest truth. Okay, 11:55 on the timer. And this is the releasing of your soul from, I'm hearing, from the matrix, from the 3D struggle, and growing these wings and not being stuck on the ground when you have spiritual wings to give you flight. And I'm seeing the scene from the Matrix when he was first going through some of the reprogramming with Morpheus, and Neo was doing the jump exercise where he was told to free your mind from what you think and were always told about yourself, to allow you to grow your wings and be able to fly as compared to what you have been doing up until this point. And flight could be just being lighter, energetically lighter, your heart being lighter, right? And going back to the original message of mastering the emotions, not just for your own benefit, but for putting that frequency out on the planet. 13:33 on the timer confirmation. So putting that frequency out, taking responsibility for the energy frequency signature that you produce, your energy footprint on Earth, and what you are projecting from moment to moment, right? Takes being conscious of our thoughts, which requires mental clarity. So taking time to meditate, clear our minds, being in nature sometimes, if that's available to people. If not, finding a quiet space. Sometimes when we wake up, taking a few moments to clear our mind before we go to sleep, taking some time to clear our mind, and having it be fun, having it be a fun exercise, not a chore. I'm seeing this card here, playful. And what's behind it? The outsider, another 5 of coins, and traveling, right? So same message, having it be a fun experience something that you want to add into your routine, something that you get as a baseline is mental clarity and awareness, right? So that you don't feel trapped inside your vessel energetically. It's always flowing. You're receiving new messages. You're constantly being grounded and releasing your soul so that you're able to take flight and travel. Um, so I'm getting, for this message, for where you're at right now, some of you, that you may want to take time to add some routines that bring some joy and playfulness to your daily routine, and remembering to breathe, right? Because this Ace of Swords is also the air element. Taking full deep breaths, allowing that to move energy through your body, visualizing, letting out and letting in the highest energy frequencies when you breathe consciously and not on autopilot, and having that mental clarity to ask for guidance from your spirit team, your ancestors that are aligned with your highest truth, and whatever verbiage resonates with you, how you speak to spirit. 17:14 on the timer. So yeah, shining like a star, as star seeds. These are our gifts. Mental clarity is a birthright. Taking time away from devices, entertainment, programming, and being conscious of the programming we allow to be in our mental space, right? Not letting the TV or phone or the apps watch us, but allowing messages to come through whenever we're in front of any devices, right? Being awake uh, breaks the pattern of being programmed, right? Not allowing ourselves to go into a sleep state when we're watching a movie or TV, but actually staying present to ourselves while we're watching and how we feel and what thoughts and emotions we're having when we're watching content, and taking responsibility for how those make us feel, and choosing to consume programming that elevates us energetically, right? We don't want to watch things that lower our frequency and go into our subconscious and have us make choices that are not aligned with our highest timeline, 1909 on the timer. So alignment, when I'm noticing the timer, I'm also numerology is important. You may get signs through numbers that you see if you take the time to learn and look up what do these numbers mean spiritually. They could be messages for where you're currently at. If you just are being moved to, let me look at the time, let me look at a watch, or you just notice a time, this is one way to use numerology, and not just saying, oh, it's 1951 on the timer, but knowing what do those numbers mean, because they have a frequency, right, that could be a message for you from your higher self, right? One message about your higher self that I'm getting for you now is to consider embodying the energy that your highest self is, whatever you believe that to be. And it's not something outside of you or up in the clouds. Your highest self is something to consciously choose to embody and to resonate when you speak and think, and how you feel and process data is through the filter of your highest self. It's not just a concept or something outside of your physical vessel. It's something like spirit to allow into your vessel to help you feel and think, right? That's the difference between being present, is being aware of how you feel, versus having all of our focus be outside of our physical body. So our physical body is just a vehicle for the spirit. While we have a physical body, it has many sensors built into it to give us information about not just our external environment, which is part of survival, right? But that's a lower base frequency. When we get out of survival mode, we get into higher levels of thinking and awareness, and being tuned into the senses, not just the physical senses, but the mental awareness, and the heart being connected, how we feel in our heart chakra, and doing the emotional work to heal from experiences that were traumatic is how we release our, not only our heart and how we feel, but is the path to our whole experience, our soul being released and not being a caterpillar. I'm seeing the caterpillar almost like in the Matrix, being stuck in one of those pods, asleep, right? We need to wake up to who we came here on earth to be in this lifetime. 2307. So this is an invitation for those who have not yet taken on their spiritual journey to wake up. This is not even locked. To open the gate and to do the spiritual work, the emotional work, not just physically healthy, eating good food, resting, drinking, hydrating, being outside, not just physical health, but mental health, being conscious of what we're allowing into our programming, TV, phone, media, apps, music, books, people we listen to. All of that is external programming. Being responsible for what we allow into our mental body, because our mind is not just our brain, it's a field of energy that's around us based on what we believe and is in our subconscious, which we need to, that's like our shadow work. We need to look into those areas that we almost have a blind spot when we don't actually take time and responsibility for owning that part of ourselves. But when we do look into it and integrate it, we have our full light and shadow working together. And that's how we achieve freedom from the pods, from the cocoon, from being stuck at a program you're watching programming you versus being able to take out the truth of the movie or the music or the book for your higher self, your highest timeline, to have everything you do, breathe, touch, think be a choice that you intentionally take that data and use it to ascend. It's like everything is food for your soul when you choose to operate like this. And when you master it, there's other people here who need this ancient wisdom, which is not taught in school. They're not teaching you in school how to have emotional or mental health. They're just running you through steps to teach you about our culture, which it's not even all the highest truth. It's a lot of it's not true, and some of it's a half truth. So you have to do your own research and not be irresponsible in your growth and making anyone else responsible for the lack of knowledge that's available when you have the free choice and free will to choose a program that's going to teach you something about yourself that will make your life better. I feel like I'm lecturing. So to end it on a brighter note, I'm seeing this 10 of earth, right? And all of these people working together. And when I'm speaking to the collective, rather than talk about individual people around you, I think it's more useful for me to address how your experience can be better. And when everybody works on themselves and takes responsibility for themselves, those people who are ascending quickly can work together to raise this frequency as guardians of this life-giving, and it's also alive planet that we need each other. It's a symbiotic relationship, right? Instead of just being here sucking up air, right? Add some value to yourself and others. I feel like this is a lecture. So this is just a channel message. I'm not trying to lecture. I do believe everything I said. And this is, what we should be taught as kids, and not all of us hear this information or put it together like I'm saying it. So I'm saying it as a reminder for those of you who know this already, but aren't walking around consciously thinking about it. It's a reminder, and for people who have never heard this put together like I'm saying it, this is the message for right now. So 2831. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to close out this message. This is Neo Ra. Take what I said and channeled that resonates and feeds your soul with you, and leave what doesn't for someone else. Thank you.